Got it. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so
All right, take it away, Elena.
take it back away. Sorry for the interruption.
No worries. So ingredient wise, we have fair trade pineapple to start. So we saw these house candied pineapple slices and blood orange slices that we have as the decor. And we use that same fruit to make jam in-house as well. So that's what these jars here are. And you know, you get this amazing, beautiful color out of these jars. Very low sugar content. So it's very much about bringing out that quality fruit. And then for the herbs that I mentioned, we actually have managed to source these from our lovely friends at Murr's Apothecary in Lincoln Square, otherwise known as Small Flower. So we have holy basil and rosemary from them. And these are, yeah, so they have a tea and herbs expert, really wonderful lady. So this is basically dried herbs from them. And holy basil is really interesting. It has a really complex flavor that really pairs quite well, I think, with the pineapple. And so what we've done is we've made extracts out of these. So simply vodka and the herbs, and let that steep for quite a while.
Days or
Weeks, months.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
definitely months. And then lastly, we take the dried herbs and pulverize them. So we have this powder that we can use as a little garnish on top of those cookies there. If I can get this tight fitting lid open. There we go. So nice powder. And so it really gives you that intense herbaceous smell. I wish you guys could smell this.
Can I question? You put the leaves in the vodka. You dry that out, and then it goes in here.
No. So these are two separate things. So
Okay.
either we pulverize the dried herbs, or we basically steep them in vodka to extract the flavor. So
Okay.
this is the liquid form that would go into the cookie batter.
Okay.
And then the powder is something that we sprinkle on top because it's very intense.
So this
in
comes from
flavor.
here. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then for our Valentine's, we have a little bit more chocolate going on there. So I know chocolate is definitely something that we source very carefully, and I've spent hours poring over all the major chocolatiers' websites and sniffing out what's greenwashing and what's actually, you know, a sustainable product. Because these things come from far away, there's farmers in third world countries, and you want to make sure that we're really, you know, watching the whole supply chain, making sure that as much as we can, we see this fair trade certified label on those exotic ingredients that we buy. So Guittard is definitely a chocolate company that we love. Cacao powder, we also have fair trade certified here. And then for spices, we found a fair trade co-op, which is a really awesome co-op that works more directly with spice farmers all around the world.
Yeah, well, I'll interject. Frontier Co-op, which is, I believe, based in Iowa, one of their main people, or at least at the beginning, was Seth Pritchard, who helped form Chicago Fair Trade with Shane and Harris. So, yeah, Frontier Co-op, and you can, and one thing that's nice too, yeah, they're. It used to be I'd have to special order them, I think, when I started my job, and now you can find Frontier Co-op in a lot of grocery stores, which is great.
You can buy it in bulk on Amazon. So,
Yeah.
you know, if you do use larger amounts of spices at home, let's see, that's one way to do that. Another really important fair trade ingredient for us is sugar. So we proudly work with Wholesome Sweet Products, again, fair trade certified. So sugar, molasses, all of those good products we love to get from Wholesome.
And I would say that it always strikes me, I think a lot of times that is an ingredient people don't think about as much. You do hear, you know, people that are conscious, and, you know, it's kind of hard not to know that cacao's sorts of a lot of exploitation, but it's always interesting to us, Beth and me both. We were going to do a whole big World Fair Trade Day on focus on sugar a couple of years ago, but then the pandemic hit. But, you know, sugar farming is brutal, and it's really many people say the reason that slavery came to the Americas was to have people sugar farm the sugar, as slave labor. And I've heard like if you were a slave, obviously it was never good, but if you got sent to sugar plantations, that was, I think, many of them, it was like they would work for 3 years and die.
Yeah.
So anyhow, so I'm so happy that there is a better alternative. And again, I will share that it's so much easier to find now. I buy both, I don't know if it's organic, but I think it is, but cane sugar and light brown sugar at all. And I think it's $2.99 for a bag, which is, I don't go through as much sugar as you do.
Yeah.
But so, a bag lasts me quite a while, and I'm just really happy that opportunity is there. But Wholesome out of Texas,
Absolutely.
doing all sorts of different sugars too. No,
Absolutely, yeah.
they have powdered sugar
They
and
have
palms.
basically
They've got every
everything,
sweetener.
coconut sugar as well. So anything you would really need. So yeah, when you buy a box of Pepsin from us, this is how it comes.
Wait, what's it called?
Pepsin. So Pepsin is the name of the traditional German cookies. Basically.
Wait, that's how you pronounce that word?
Pepsin.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So that's what the Pepsin are. So it comes with this little
Gotcha.
descriptive label, so you know what
So
you're getting. You can refer back to it as you're eating, and you'll get 1 dozen cookies here in the boxes.
So cute.
And nice little compostable packaging. So our packaging is another point that really matters to me. That is fully compostable or recyclable and made in the U.S. So we're working on rebranding this actually. So the printing is going to be local for our new labels. But
Nice.
as of now, the ribbon comes from U.S. grown, it's fully compostable, biodegradable, dyed with soy ink. So anytime you add color, also want to be conscious of that.
Yeah.
We have our little nutrition facts on the back here. And then the boxes themselves are made by a company based in Iowa. So that's about as local as I could get, and definitely made in the US. That's also fully compostable, natural craft paper. And then the clear wrapper as well is 90% wood-based fiber cellulose. So it's also fully compostable, also in backyard composting. So, what you think is plastic, what functions as plastic in terms of, the visibility of the product, is then also actually a fully compostable product. So if we pull this out here, you'll see the hidden little label there.
Yeah.
So it's also kind of important to me that it's labeled, right? We
That
know
people
that this is
know,
compostable because otherwise, you might compost, but you don't know that and ends up in the
Right.
trash anyway. So that's definitely something that we pay really close attention to at Zimt as we work to package the cookies and make sure that they are packaged as carefully and lovingly as they are baked.
And so Zimt, I don't think did you share this, what that means? I know that you shared it with me and then I was like,
Sure.
oh, okay.
So Zimt actually means cinnamon in German. It's my personal favorite spice of all time. You can ask anybody. I put it in just about everything, except for these for some reason. But over the holidays, there's a lot of cinnamon going on in this kitchen. I'm definitely buying the bulk bags of cinnamon and going through multiple in a holiday season. I sprinkle it on oatmeal. I'll put a little bit in savory dishes sometimes too. It's an amazing spice. So that's my favorite. Definitely contributed to our name.
Cute logo.
Yeah.
Cute logo.
Well, initially I thought you named it because that's my name spelled backwards. Minus the A.
Actually, I was just gonna call on you. Tamiz is a chef, and originally from India. Who didn't you say like you'd never seen cinnamon used in sweets until you got here?
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I thought that was
use
really
it.
weird.
Yeah, see, and here it's the opposite.
Right.
People are weirded out when I say that I put it in savory dishes. Right?
Yeah,
So it's
It's very versatile.
It is very versatile.
Well, and Beth Black, you know, but I don't know, those of you who know Beth Black, she's like one of the world's biggest packaging dorks.
Yeah.
So you gotta be like dorking out over here, nerding out over packaging over here.
Yeah, it's the creme de la creme.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you guys this, that, when we received Zimt's application to be a member, we were like, oh my God, it was like, it's so we just appreciate the thoughtfulness in every single aspect. What are some of, you've done some work, like partnering and collabs with other social justice organizations and what. Yeah, you know what? We're gonna take a walk. We're gonna go to we'll show you around the hatchery a little bit. Have you guys heard of the hatchery? Some of you?
Definitely.
Definitely. Great. Well, and then maybe,
We're just gonna walk
as we're
into
walking
the
there.
lobby area, and then we're gonna have a sit down with Lena and Catherine to finish the interview. So we're gonna leave this beautiful kitchen.
I'm gonna grab a ticket. So, yeah, so, maybe at this point in time, can I put my lovely Whitney Young interns on the spot and ask you guys, can you share a little bit more about like what you're selling at the coffee shop and what you're thinking about for the future a little bit?
Okay, yeah, sure. So right now we are selling some Metropolis coffee there, and then we went out and got some fair trade hot cocoa and brought some fair trade teas from home. We're kind of starting small just because it's like our first time doing this, and it's a little hard to manage like the time doing it before school, but we are really wanting to like expand. So we're going to send out a Google form to the people in our fair trade club, which fortunately has a lot of new members this year. A lot of our students are really passionate about it. And just to like the school-wide community to see what people want, we would love to have some like fair trade or locally sourced baked goodies for people in the morning. And it's going really well. We're decorating it right now with a whole bunch of posters. So yeah, we're really like looking to expand everything right now, but obviously this is like our first time doing this, and I don't think it's very common for high schools to have coffee shops in their school. So we're just kind of figuring it out as we go. But a lot of our students seem to really like the coffee, so we're very happy about that.
Yay! I've been telling these three young women that like it's a really big deal and everyone's been really excited about it. Like Tony from Metropolis Coffee was like the owner of Metropolis Coffee because there's of course serving Chicago Fair Trade coffee, which is private label Metropolis Coffee. And he's like, I'm going to the school and I'll install machinery, and which the school's not going to allow. But anyhow, it's a really big deal. So I just want to recognize and commend you guys for getting that going.
And how are you enjoying running the coffee shop?
Pretty good. It's nice to have like face-to-face interaction with a lot of our peers in the morning, but it's definitely a lot of early mornings because we do start school at 8 and we open it before then. So we have to get there, like set everything up. But I mean, other than the waking up early, it's a really nice experience.
Oh, good. And are the students excited, and are they getting coffee?
Yes, they're definitely getting coffee. I think they're excited about it too. I think like people hear fair trade and they think it's like a healthier thing, or like, so some people are like, ooh, I don't know if it's going to be good, but then everyone's coming every morning. So they're definitely getting more excited about fair trade, which is awesome.
Oh, nice. And educating them at the same time. Double whammy. How nice. This is the courtyard here.
And providing our intern Lila with much needed coffee. Because do you want to share your home situation, Lila?
Oh yeah, my parents don't drink coffee. They don't allow coffee to be made in the house.
Oh,
They don't like the
I
smell
know.
of it.
I love
So
Nice. Oh, you don't? Tea, oh, you're shy.
I'm a tea person, so I like, I have my frontier co-op spices made some sugar to make my little chai spice mix at home.
Nice.
Mhm.
With cinnamon.
With cinnamon, of course, and black tea, and then brew that up with whatever milk of choice, you know, depending on the day. And it's the best in the morning. It's spicy and rich and delicious. And
Well, look at me here. I'm like, I get to eat one.
Can you guys hear Catherine and Alina?
I can, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I know, I'm very demure and quiet. I'll try to speak up.
Thanks, Phyllis.
I was wondering if you guys could give us a background on the hatchery, because it sounds like some people are familiar with it, but I bet it would be good to have a nice little summary.
Oh, yeah, I'd be happy to. So the
Yeah.
Hatchery is a nonprofit organization that has partnered, and I might get some of the details wrong, so forgive me, but overall, it's a nonprofit here in the city of Chicago. So we're on the west side in East Garfield Park.
Where are you? Say it again. That was
East Garfield
East Garfield Park, we're at Kedzie and Lake,
and Lake, yeah.
Not
good.
far-
Thank you.
not far from the Garfield Park Conservatory.
So very well located, easy to get to if you're taking transit, which is important for folks helping out and working in the kitchen. And so it's the organization, the Hatchery, is partnered with Allies for Community Business, with ICN. So there's other organizations.
ICN is Industrial Corridor.
And his network.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but basically gives the small businesses that operate out of the Hatchery not only the kitchen space, but also financial assistance and coaching through Allies for Community Business, grant opportunities at times, and then help with licensing your business. So there's all kinds of basically help and coaching and setting up your business and running your business, and there's a lot of things that you get with membership at the Hatchery. So really sets you up for success. And what you saw here, we're a new business in the Hatchery, so we're still operating out of the shared space. That's what you guys saw earlier. And basically the building is set up in a way that helps your business hatch, right, and grow, and eventually leave the Hatchery into whatever, your business will grow into its own space or your own retail. So we start in the shared kitchen, and then there are private kitchens that you can rent out on a daily basis. If your business is doing well consistently, you can move into your own private kitchen that you lease on a monthly base or an annual base. And then from there, you can grow into a bigger private kitchen, or, move on into whatever space of your own out in the big world. So it is truly an incubator. And I've seen, fellow entrepreneurs grow in this space and move from one to the next and out on, to bigger, greater things outside of the Hatchery. But it is a tight-knit community here. It is really a wonderful place to be. We've collaborated with other entrepreneurs at the Hatchery to kind of provide, say for right now, we're doing ice cream sandwiches together with another female entrepreneur, Bartleby's Ice Cream Cakes. So she does not only custom cakes, but also ice cream sandwiches that she sells at L&M Market up in, I believe it's Ravenswood. And so our larger format lemon cookies are currently featured. So we're gonna have those on store. I think this week we'll be launching those.
Wow.
So you get a sneak peek with her ice cream sandwich, but things like that. So it's really Marisol actually is good friends with that entrepreneur as well. So it's a small world out there, and it's really great to be part of this.
Well, and I'll tell you this, that Beth Black and I came here to check it out and meet with people here. I believe that was one of the last things we did before the shutdown. It was in February or even early March of 2020.
Oh, yeah.
We came here and started conversations with whoever was in charge of programming or whatever, because we see it as an opportunity too. I mean, they're very protective of their list. At first, we were like, oh, we'd like to meet some of the food makers as we were planning for our World Fair Trade Day event, which we were going to do a bake shop at Fourth Presbyterian Church, but that got switched. But it's good to have a member here and for us to revisit, because I do think there are opportunities here to talk with some of it's all, these small local businesses that are using ingredients, and the more that, and we're so happy to have you here using fair trade ingredients and thinking about, ways in which we can maybe let the larger community here know and see, and encourage people to use fair trade ingredients. As they have gotten a little easier to source. Vanilla is still really hard to source.
Vanilla is very difficult to
Vanilla's
source.
tricky.
Yes. But I think in terms of, buying power, if you look at the Hatchery as a network of entrepreneurs, there's also the opportunity for us to kind of help each other out and band together and say, oh, you also use sugar? Well, maybe we can, give the distributor something more, and order together. Everybody wins. You get, you get the distribution channel, you get a cheaper, price per pound, and you can then split, the order
however you need to. So I think that there's also opportunities, for entrepreneurs in a situation like this to work together, for everybody's benefit.
Well, we're all about taking collective action. We
Exactly.
love that. Where can people buy your delicious treats?
So we have a website, zimt.com. So that's Z as in zebra, IMT.com. Pretty simple once you know the name of the bakery. And we have an online shop there. Everything that we're currently offering, it's usually a pretty small menu, but changing monthly with whatever's in season. So we're definitely really big on using, as I mentioned before, local ingredients and then also whatever's in season. So we can always offer you something different. We have new products dropping this week. Again, that's the lemon cookies. And we will also be this weekend at the Wicker Park Indoor Farmers Market. So not only can you get the cookies online, we ship nationwide, but then we also have on our homepage a list of events that you can find us at locally, including this event right today. But basically, you can always find us somewhere in person. You can pre-order for an event, but then, if you can't make it or you're not local, we're happy then to also ship, like I said, nationwide. And that is carbon neutral shipping. Really happy about our shipping partner. That is Sendle. So they do carbon neutral shipping throughout the US. We get priority shipping, which is nice. So, you're not stuck in first class mail. Packages are arriving a bit faster and more reliably, and are also trackable. So far we've actually had a really good experience, despite everybody's complaints about USPS, I have to say, so far it's worked out really well for us.
See, this is wonderful. I want to already know this and start using this to ship our coffee.
Yeah, so Sendle has been amazing. So I can definitely refer you. But they are also, it's, if you go on their page, likewise, there's like-minded, small businesses that are using their service, and through the power of that kind of collective, you get to negotiate really good prices for shipping, which then means your customer gets the better price for shipping. So again, everybody wins when we work together. So they've been really great. So I have to give a shout out to them as well.
Great.
I mean, I think they're one of the few services that's truly built on that sustainable principle of providing carbon neutral shipping.
What's the name of it again? I had a disruption in the back.
It's called Sendle, Sendle. So Sendle a little package.
Or like Wordle.
Yeah, Wordle, but Sendle, right? Yeah. So Sendle.
Like gentle, but with an S, right? Sent gently, Sentle. Okay.
Yes. So.
Thank you.
With a D, Phyllis. SEND.
The D. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or you could just say Sendle.
Sendle. My mom always mixes it up and calls it Sendly. So. But if you Google that, I'm sure it'll still pop up.
Well, that's great. Can you guys see how we were why we're so excited to have such a great new member? Seriously, that cookie was ridiculously delicious. It's funny because, at first, I think when I saw your first ones, I was kind of like, oh, look at all this plastic, but I did not realize, of course, it's not just plastic. I mean, it sure feels like it though. It looks like it, but it's way better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've even composted it in California. I was testing in my own little worm bin. And it took about 4 weeks to kind of start to break down, and then I would say six weeks to fully break down. And that's in, pretty rough environment, I'd say, for composting. Industrially, obviously, it'll break down much faster. But I definitely also wanted to make sure myself, if they say it's backyard compostable, let's make sure it actually is, right? So, and that's another part of it, right? That I really want this to be something that's transparent and something that, when we do give back to the community, that we do so in a way that is thoughtful and mindful. So we've donated baked goods. If we do recipe testing, or something doesn't turn out quite right, you have little broken ones. Sometimes I taste it myself, but if we have a larger amount, then that often I'm looking for local organizations to donate to. So we've donated to youth guidance a few times. So they are working with kids in school, trying to kind of boost academic involvement and setting goals for yourself, going to college, continuing your education. And they've basically been able to use these donated cookies as kind of kudos, bonus points. If you turn in your assignment, you get a cookie, right? So it's kind of really great to be able to work with organizations like that also on the back end to make sure we're not wasting any product. We are able to kind of recipe test with confidence and do a big batch and see how that works, and then know that that product is going to go somewhere where it's also put to good use. I've also, just baked for fun, if, we have a slow period and, I have ingredients that need to get used up, then we can do the same. So it's wonderful. And the Hatchery also has a program called Hatch Made Meals. I'm happy to report the volunteer list is booked out through like 2022.
Wow.
So I have not yet gotten to help out, but that's also a program that they use donated or rescued ingredients and then make full healthy meals for, different organizations to distribute throughout the city. So there's always good to be done. And, so we can really make sure we go the extra mile kind of in every aspect, of the business.
Well, I'm certainly like my wheels are spinning and I hope some of yours are too. I'm thinking, we could certainly have some like Chicago Fair Trade collab cookies available. Maybe, I mean, she just joined. It's a busy time of year with Valentine's Day coming up. So we really appreciate you being here, but maybe next year for Valentine's Day or at the pop-up shop or something like that, you'll be seeing Alina around.
Yeah. I'm curious how she found the hatchery.
Pardon me?
I was curious how you found the hatchery. Once you moved back to Chicago,
Yeah.
how did you, if you're looking for a kitchen?
Sure. So my tactic of choice was Googling, community commercial kitchen, I think were my terms. I had a friend out in California who was kind of running a sustainable commercial kitchen, so a certified green kitchen out there. And she had kind of a similar, albeit a little more scrappy setup, right, with her kitchen. Also focused on local entrepreneurs that, cater to sustainability in some way would then get a discounted rate. So I thought, well, if she's doing that here, the city of Chicago is huge. There must be something, right? So was searching specifically for commercial kitchens, near where we were living, which is on the west side. And bonus points for the ones that go the extra mile and do something different. And the Hatchery was one, and it popped up pretty quick. And their rates are competitive. The organization around the Hatchery obviously was a big draw. So it's kind of a no-brainer. As soon as I found it, was whatever I have to do to get in there, we're gonna do it. So,
well,
Okay,
it's
thank you.
nice. We have two business members that are rather close by, a little bit west. They're West
Yeah.
Garfield Park, but they're kind of like Eastern West Garfield Park, and you're kind of like West East
yeah.
Garfield Park. But the Green Heart / Sobre Mesa is up the street, and they do kitchenwares too. So I'm like, ooh, there could be beautiful cutting boards and platters and dishware and towel, things like that. And then also New Moms, which is a nonprofit working with single moms and make bright and diverse candles. They're right up the street. So anyhow, it's nice. I mean, it's nice. We got three Chicago Fair Trade members all working in this area. He lives North Lawndale, so down the street, but not that far actually though, because you just take kids. It's either Kedzie or Kimball. I can't remember. South of another mile. That's true too. Yeah, that's true too. So does anyone else have any questions, comments?
Yeah. Any questions, you guys?
Yeah, I would really love to know where you get those wonderful, the fair trade fruit, the oranges and pineapple. Was that pre-made or did you have to find the fruit?
It's made from scratch, cut on mandolin, candied and baked. So currently, since I'm still small, I'm running to Whole Foods and getting myself organic and fair trade produce.
I didn't know that there was pineapple.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful because they have, the like
Yeah,
quote
the
unquote
whole
regular,
pineapple.
and then they have the fair trade in the organic section. Right now that they've been bought by Amazon, you have to shop really carefully. But they have, I think they're currently coming from Costa Rica, organic and fair trade pineapple. So that's where that is coming from right now. I have struggled really hard to find produce, even just organic produce that you can source from the wholesalers. I mean, there's one right down the street on Madison that supplies a lot of the restaurants, not only on the west side, but throughout Chicago. And, even there, it's really difficult to find organic at all. If not organic and fair trade is even harder. So, I might be paying a little bit of a premium for that. But I think, to me, it's worth it. It's part of the core mission of the company. And as I grow, then I also have a little bit more buying power and can say, to a distributor that does, organic, hey, can you get me fair trade? So there's growing pains with the
Yeah.
business, right? And I'm trying to build it in a way that is, slow growth, sustainable growth. And, as I grow, I can find those connections and make sure that as I connect with a distributor, it's a distributor who can really get me the products that I'm already using, or products that match that, in terms of sustainability or where it's sourced from. So butter, eggs, flour, right? All of those, sugar, the main ingredients. And then those specialty ingredients like the fruit, I'm buying in smaller amounts, but, so as of right now, it's, Whole Foods shopping.
Well, I'll tell
But-
you, I know, we, in fair trade bananas, when there were certified fair trade bananas, and, sometimes we'd be educating people about that, and they'd want bananas, and then they go out and they go find the bananas, and it was frustrating. It's the long game.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it used to be really hard to find fair trade sugar. Now it's not. It used to be, and now, I mean, like at our fundraiser in the fall, Global Fest, I was sourcing some fair trade ingredients. We had some students from After School Matters make us cookies using many fair trade ingredients. They're so good. And I was all like, oh, they're not getting back to me with the ingredients list, and I'm going to have to special order it. And then I called Whole Foods. They had a lot of spices. So it is incrementally, baby steps. It's getting better. I remember Dill Pickle, which was the first co-op, maybe there'd been some before that had closed, but it opened, it was a co-op that opened in 2005 or something like that. They're still here, and what their board of directors decided, like, we will only sell fair trade bananas. And if we can't get fair trade bananas, we will not sell bananas, because conventional bananas are such a source of exploitation and, horrible labor conditions. But then they really struggled. Like, they didn't have bananas a lot, but now I think they still only have fair trade bananas, but they always have bananas. So as people like you too, that are doing this, one thing that's so important with fair trade, and a big point of fair trade, is a lot of times just people realizing that's something you can do.
Yeah.
So that's why I said that to you guys at Whitney Young High School too. And like, I know it's, not without its growing pains and figuring out how to get the CPS, the Chicago Public Schools, doesn't make it easy.
Oh, of course.
But the fact that you're doing it, then other high school students will be like, wait, they're doing that, I could do that. And people saying you too. I mean, it's so wonderful to have this bakery. I mean, that's one reason I say, when we started, Phyllis, who's modest, but Phyllis helped co-found Maya Works, which was a fair trade business out of Guatemala, and was one of our first 3 original business members. When we started in 2006, we had 3 business members. Pre-pandemic, at one point, we were up to 70 business members. We're now at over 50, but, and a lot of it, people always ask, like, why does Chicago have so many fair trade businesses? And I'm like, I think just because we have fair trade businesses. Yeah. So people think, see that, people see mama traders and think, oh, you can make fair trade dresses with pockets, like, so it's spurred on others. So I'm sure you will spur on others.
I hope
you
so.
Here at being at the hatcheries, it seems like a good place to do that. And so funny, I hadn't really thought about that till you were just saying that. I'm like, oh, like the hatchery, incubate, I get it. I hadn't really thought about
Hatching businesses.
yeah, I hadn't thought of that, duh.
Your mind gets blown.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I mean, then it's also like, duh, of course. It's a good thing. It's a really beautiful space.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's definitely inspiring.
Yeah. So
As
maybe
you can see.
one day when things are a little less restricted and whatever, we can do a little field trip here or something. We like field trips.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a kind of a show kitchen as well
Uh-huh.
that's closed off right now, but pre-pandemic, used to be easier to actually send out an open invitation. We're testing new products, come taste it.
I want to get on that
Who's
list.
not gonna, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free cookies. All right.
Yeah.
But that's definitely something that I would love to do. Also, just as a way to meet people, right, and
Yeah.
kind of get involved with the Fair Trade Network in person. And
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a good opportunity. So look out for that. I hope we can do that, sometime in the near future,
Yeah.
as soon as it's safe to do so. But
Well, I'm also just getting this feeling like, ooh, this could be an interesting podcast featuring the hatchery and fair trade bakery.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm curious, when your consumers, because you're a new business, so you're finding customers.
Mhm.
And I'm curious to know if you're finding customers through searches of fair trade cookie or organic, or do you know what your buzzword, words
definitely-
are.
I have to get better at SEO
You know?
in general, but I know that for the most part, it is Chicago-based searches. So searches looking for Chicago bakeries.
Oh, okay.
But I will say, talking to people in person at farmers markets has been a wonderful opportunity to kind of connect, like, what about the product? You give them the whole spiel and you see, like, what are you connecting with? Are you asking me questions about organic and fair trade? Are you asking me questions about my grandma? Are you asking me questions
Yeah.
about the packaging?
Yeah.
There's different parts of the business that different people connect with and respond to. And I have to say, you know, that there are, fair trade is a bit of a niche, right?
Yeah.
But there are customers that care in general about sustainability, that are open and susceptible to being educated about fair trade and how important it is. And hey, you can apply this to your own home. So, you know, the greater mission is to also educate people about what they can do themselves every day beyond just buying, you know, a specialty box of cookies every now and again for, you know, a loved one or for a special occasion.
Yeah.
That this can also have implications on everyday purchases, right? And
Yeah.
you know, if I can scrap it together, you know, starting out shopping at Whole Foods, then I'm sure there's ways, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing good by eating all these cookies. I like that.
It's good for the soul, good for the planet.
It
you
is,
know.
and delicious good for the palate. So,
Oh, so that's interesting.
well,
Thank
this
you.
is great. Does anyone else have, I don't know what time it is, I don't, but.
Who is your customer base? What is your market? Who are you targeting to sell your cookies to?
Sure. So geographically speaking, in Chicago, I'm targeting mostly the north and northwest sides, and that's through farmers markets. So we are in the Wicker Park Indoor Market right now, and then over the summertime, we are in Lincoln Square. Given that kind of German roots, I felt like Lincoln Square makes a bit of sense as well. We've partnered with the Duck House on occasion. And then Lincoln Park is then also, we're hoping to be at Green City Market this summer on Saturdays. But definitely Lincoln Park. There's a couple markets in Lincoln Park on Saturdays, so I'm sure, you know, we can finagle our way into one of them. So geographically speaking, that's kind of the target. But beyond that, the people who care about sustainability is definitely a target audience. And so that's kind of done through, you know, either targeted advertising or word of mouth. I mean, right now, word of mouth is huge, right? That email list grows, and people share with folks that they know and love, and you know, if they care about it, they spread the word, and that's enormously helpful. So, but I would say there's you know, the folks that are interested in the German heritage aspect of it, and there's folks that are interested more in the sustainability part of it, you know, and sometimes a bit of both. So. There's a bit of that kind of bifurcated target audience depending on, you know, geography in the city, or you know, what it is that they might be interested in personally. But I think obviously education is always a part of it, and you start to bring on a wider and wider audience as fair trade becomes also more mainstream. That's something just more people know about. When you drop "we use fair trade ingredients," the more people already know what that is and connect with that. So it's fun to also see that side of it as fair trade grows.
Yeah. So can you just let us know the date, location, and hours of the Wicker Park Winters Farmer Market?
Yes. So it is.
Where we can get Valentine cookies.
Yeah, we'll have Valentine's cookies there, as well as what you saw today, the sunrise to sunset cookies. So we have every second and fourth Saturday of the month. So that would be this upcoming Saturday on the 12th. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Den Theater on Milwaukee. So that's right kind of on the south end of Wicker Park. There's like a jewel right there.
Yeah.
So right off of Milwaukee, you walk in, it's like a beautiful, beautiful theater that is just basically filled with, you know, market stands. So you can buy your bread, you can buy your preserves, you can buy your cheeses, and of course your pets here. So 10 to 3 at the Den Theater. This upcoming Saturday, and then every second and fourth Saturday of the month.
Wicker Park Farmers Market. They can find it on your website
It's
too.
also on our
Here on your
website,
Zimt,
it's on
which
our
is
social
zimt.com. Like and subscribe. I'm just kidding. But this is great. This is great. This is exciting. We're so happy to have you here. Oh, one last thing that I'll share, because I think this is interesting. So what did you used to do?
Oh, I used to be an architect here in the city of Chicago. Shout out to my old firm, Farr Associates. What else but sustainable architecture?
Yeah.
So I studied at IIT here in Chicago, was basically stress baking away for all the friends and family, all of my Oma's recipes. And I think at some point my record was 18 hours straight in the commercial kitchen of one of the sorority houses during
my
finals week.
God.
After I was done, I went and baked for 18 hours straight and then gave everybody cookies while they were,
Oh my
while they were
God.
studying for their test. So it's kind of fortuitous that I end up here.
That's
But
wild.
I started work as an architect, and you kind of start the degree, you want to finish it and get a job and see how that is. And I lasted, I think, about 5 years in the profession. And
Good.
before it kind of during the pandemic actually is when Zimt started. So that started as a pandemic baby. And when you have the time, you're locked up at home, and what else am I going to do but bake?
So
Yeah.
in the future, with her German cookies and her architecture background, I'm like, yeah, she's one day gonna make the coolest gingerbread house set, fair trade gingerbread house set. I mentioned that to her, she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm already like trying to source it. Do you know any candy makers? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Any local
yeah,
candy makers,
yeah.
or fair trade candy makers, hit me up. I'm looking.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that keep your eyes out for that. Okay, we'll keep it posted, but I can only imagine. It'd be very cool. Anyhow, well, I think we're probably done for the day.
Okay.
It's I couldn't really see you. I'm just looking at the back of my camera, but very happy to have you that you all were able to join us, and looking forward. Just stay tuned. We've got some really exciting World Fair Trade Day events coming up. That's so good at our marketing. That's also, just so you guys know, a
That's
lot of
our
people think it's
coffee club.
plastic, but it's actually, that's corn based. Kind of retro. We used to have a bunch of these. So yeah, and just remember, ask the right questions, right? That's our little tagline there. So thank you
long.
everyone for joining us.
Thank you. Can't wait to try the cookies.
Okay,
Was that
bye.
Andrea?
Yeah.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
Bye, thanks. Wait, who is that saying?